Now we travel to the very southeast corner of Ireland, to Wexford, on a journey that also takes us back in time, to beyond even the beginnings of our history.
Drivers approaching Wexford on the new road from Ferry Carrig are greeted with the sight of an 8th century crown oak beside the visitor centre at the Irish National Heritage Park. There are 16 reconstructions illustrating in accurate detail life in Ireland from 7000 BC to 12th century AD. The park was first proposed in 1983, and the Wexford County Council saw the potential for employment and for tourism and readily agreed. With the expertise of craftsmen and archaeologists and help from the Office of Public Works, Bord Fáilte and various government departments, the park was finally opened in June 1987 by President Hillary. The man who dreamed up this idea and who put it into practice was Dr. Ned Culleton. Born in Wexford, he is an earth scientist as well as a graduate in history and English and a PhD. As well as soil survey work in Ireland, he has worked in Africa and in Brussels. He is the author or editor of numerous publications and is an active member of a number of organizations. In his time, he was no mean hurler. The park employs up to 30 people as guides, receptionists, maintenance and craft workers and shop staff. Attendances have risen annually to this year's record of 100,000. By the end of this season, 250,000 people will have visited the park. The spin-off in the area is incalculable. In addition to his scientific interests, Dr. Culleton is also attached to the Trinity College-based company Environmental Resource Analysis, working on a computerized visitor information system. And he is advisor to EIGSHA, a body devoted to assisting local communities to develop their own area. In 1988, Dr. Culleton took early retirement to devote himself full-time to the further development of the National Heritage Park, of which he is honorary curator. His vision, his efforts, and his insistence on the highest professional standards have given Ireland one of the finest open-air museums in Europe.
For his vision and foresight in putting forward the idea of the Irish National Heritage Park in Ferry Carrig in Wexford, and for his work in developing it into a phenomenal tourism success, this award goes to Dr. Ned Culleton. I know everybody in Wexford calls you Ned, so you don't mind me calling you Ned tonight. How did you think of the idea?
I think it came from a combination of my studies on landscape development in soils and geology, and from my interest in history and archaeology. I saw the traces of man on the landscape as national resources which, if properly reconstructed and developed, could provide employment. It was all about employment, really. But could I say that people like me can come up with ideas, and we can come up with elaborate plans, develop them with professional archaeologists, as we have done, but it takes action. It takes people to put these things into action. And we were fortunate in Wexford that we had a very progressive county council, a most progressive county manager in Mr. Noel Dillon, and a great staff in Wexford County Council. And it was the combination of professional archaeologists, Wexford County councillors, the county manager, and all those people that got together behind this and really brought it to partial fruition, because it's not finished yet. It won't be finished for many years because we keep developing it as we go along.
What about the site itself? It's a particularly lovely site.
That was one of the remarkable coincidences. In 1983, I put forward this idea, and just at the same time, Wexford County Council had acquired land as a result of the Wexford bypass. Part of this land was wooded and part was open country. So it was absolutely perfect for what we wanted, because the first people who came to Ireland 9,000 years ago came into a wooded country and they had to make clearances in the woodlands. We had to do exactly the same thing. So every reconstruction is sited in its proper environmental context. So we were very fortunate.
And what about the finances? How did you raise those?
The finances, again, there was a certain coincidence, because in 1983 the government were developing the social employment schemes. So we took advantage of those and we employed people in that way. But and we got a lot of encouragement from the government. The European Commission, where I worked for 3 years, they also supported it. The Irish American Cultural Institute, the Ireland American Fund, the National Lottery, and various other bodies. In fact,
And they all believed in it?
yes, from the very beginning, the idea simply took off. Everyone said, this is a great idea, we're going to work at it, we're going to develop it.
You said it's developing all the time. Very briefly, what have you planned for the future there?
What we're planning we have all the reconstructions in place now. What we want to do now is have activities. We want to have people there actually working on site, doing
as they
things
would have been.
as they would have in the Stone Age and in the Bronze Age and up into the early Christian times. And next year we will have those people dressed in the dress of the period also.
Well, I have to say my children have been to it. They absolutely loved it. I'm ashamed to say I haven't yet, but I'm on my way.
Can I invite you now?
People of the Year Award winner, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Edward Culleton. Congratulations.